Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Justin the Food Entrepreneur Show. I'm Justin Bizzarro. I'm your host. That's Bizzarro. For anyone who's out there trying to find me, you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. And if you want to find the show, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, and the Gorilla Brave crew or anyone looking for that, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram as well right now. So I have a special guest with us, Shauna Lehde, back with us from Girls Got Balls, but today we're going to talk about the food truck gathering, or maybe it should be called the Great Food Truck Gathering.
That.
And let's talk about this. Let's give a little background for the audience on your story related to your relationship, Great Food Truck Race, all of this, how it all came together, and then get into the greater story here, which is this massive gathering that you have being built.
Absolutely. So I'm the owner of Girls Got Balls food truck, specializing in risotto balls. And we were contestants on the Great Food Truck Race season 15. So unfortunately, if you haven't seen the show, our season was cut short. We had technical difficulties on the food truck with electrical issues. So we were not able to get our food out. So even though our time on Food Network's Great Food Truck Race was cut short, we still made some awesome friends. And that's where this comes into play. So these said friends and I were having a discussion about how we should just all get together and have a reunion type service and actually serve the public the food that everyone has seen on Food Network and on TV watching the show saying, oh my God, that looks so good. I really wish I could try that. And so that's what we wanted to do. So somehow that idea completely snowballed off into creating this food truck festival. And I single-handedly managed to get a bunch of these trucks together and willing to come out on October 4th in Marengo, Illinois. And we are going to have a great food truck gathering. And we're inviting up to 30 food trucks to come and participate and serve this massive event with live music, awesome food, and just a good old fun time.
Let's talk about the fellowship that you have because of the Great Food Truck Race. I don't know if it was intentional or not when they did the show, but there is a community, there is a camaraderie from just being on the show or going through the experience of it. Talk about that a little bit, that fellowship, because it still exists. I mean, we're talking 10 years later, right?
Oh, no. Let's see. Season 15 was only, let me think, 3 years ago now.
But how long ago did the Great Food Truck Race start?
Oh my goodness, that show has been on for 16, 17 years.
Okay, 16, 17
like
years.
That.
So we've got alumni going back like 16, 17 years in this community. So what is that like for you being a part of that? Because you're talking about bringing all of them together. You and I have talked both over email and pre-recording about they're driving from all over the country, right?
Yeah,
so let's emphasize the effort that's going on here, because I don't think a normal food truck would just drive across the country for an event. We're talking about camaraderie. We're talking about belief. We're talking about echoing the scars, for lack of a better term, or the experience of the Great American Food Truck Race or the Great Food Truck Race. Talk to me about that.
All right. So after you're a contestant on the Great Food Truck Race, you obviously build friendships with the other teams that are participants during that season. And even off of the show, other trucks from other seasons will reach out to you and you build friendships with them. And there's such a following in that community. It's absolutely insane. So I personally haven't met 3/4 of these food trucks, but we've communicated, we've had phone calls, we have talked and actually built relationships. So all of these people, they are extremely interested in coming in for this. And so we're right outside of Chicago, about 45 minutes outside the city. And these food trucks, they're coming in, they're wanting to come in and serve this event from Florida, California, Colorado, Ohio. There's a team flying in from the Philippines. So they're like literally flying halfway across the world to make this actually happen. So like this is not an easy task at all, because if anyone knows anything about the food truck community, there's a lot that goes into it. You can't just pick up your food truck and go serve food. You have to have a commissary kitchen. You have to have permits in place and approval from the county, the city, and make sure everything is compliant. And so I am making sure on my end out here, setting up the commissary kitchen. So all of these trucks that are traveling halfway across the country, they can come in and they'll have commissary use. The health department is fully aware of what is going on, and they're going to make sure that all the trucks are compliant, and then this can go off without a hitch. So no issues and lower fees that normal commissary kitchens would be charging. I got it set up with my commissary owner, and she's an amazing person. So she is offering to help out all of these food trucks to make sure everything can actually go through and this will work.
I'm really impressed by the effort, by the community, by the fellowship for sure. You don't think about these communities building around things like that, but they do. That you're an alumni of an experience, and the entertainment part is on TV, but we're talking about something that is an uphill climb just to be on the show. Then there's the community, and then they're still building and holding on to a brand or a food truck after the show, as normal entrepreneurs have to do. It doesn't mean instant glory just because you're on the show. I think people think that, but I don't always see that. Television doesn't mean that your restaurant's going to do better or your food's going to do better. You have to continue, what I would say, putting gasoline on that momentum.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Food Network, they do an awesome job at setting all the food trucks up with lots of media appearances. So even though I was cut during the first episode, I came back and I still had interviews with a local news channel, WGN. I had NBC, Fox. I had all of the major networks as well, a bunch of news coverage with newspapers, even cooking segments on midday TV and everything. So like we did all of that. And so every truck gets set up with that, and then it's pretty cool. But as everyone knows, that kind of coverage will fade. And so you don't get your fame from that or anything. So as long as you have good food, then you'll be able to keep it going, so to speak. And so I know for me, even though I personally was able to gain over, like, I think about 2,500 followers on Facebook, just getting my stuff out there and serving and really pushing for it, Food Network helped me gain another like 2,500, if not more, on top of that. So it's like, yes, they do help, but it only can go so far.
Let's talk about how you organize an event like this. You're talking 30 applicants. You're talking a lot of different food options. You're talking about human customers, guests, fans, whatever category we want to put them in, us. You're talking about marketing this, advertising this, making sure that the trucks are all represented. Talk to me about this, because you have a group of people that have been all, what I would say, well trained by the Food Network. We're talking, what you just said is like PR training. It's getting your name out there. It's advertising. It's marketing. It's had to use group collaboration to get a louder voice, which is what we're talking about the Great Food Truck Race. So talk to me about this, the coordination, all the pieces that you're having to put together now to pull 30 food trucks together in one place by October 4th.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure. Like on top of my regular food truck season, like I'm out there serving on my own food truck at least 3 to 4 days a week. So having to do this on top of all my prep and everything, it's a lot of work. So originally it just started off with, hey, email me. And then I was like, you know what, there's no way to keep this organized. And so then I came up with one of those Google registration forms. So now it's actually a lot easier. And I have a full breakdown. I have it open in front of me. And so at the moment, I currently have 18 food trucks registered. This is not including the additional 6, and like myself, I'm one of those 6, and the other Food Network teams that want to come out. So I have, 18 responses currently, and they're ranging from Mexican barbecue, pizza, dessert, Indian, soul food, and Polish. It keeps going on. The list goes on. And the cool thing about this is, since I'm pretty much being able to hand pick all of the food trucks myself who is going to participate, we're trying to make it a very exclusive event where there's not more than 2 repeats. We do not want to have 12 taco trucks and 6 barbecue trucks, because no one's going to make money at that. We all want to have an equal chance at making money and having fun and letting all of the public try new stuff that isn't your standard, so to speak. Like, we want to have fun with it. And if there are, let's say, 3 Indian trucks, I bet you they're all going to be serving something different. One might have samosas, the other has tikka masala, and the other one doesn't have that. So we're trying to make it sure that everyone has a fair chance. It is completely diversified in every way.
I like this. You're obviously, you put this together, you came up with the idea, you're coordinating it. It's in Illinois near Fox River Grove where you are, I believe. And so you're taking this on, you're leading this, you're sparking the fire. Tell me why, because on top of it, you are still running a business, you are still running your food truck.
I personally just felt like this would be a fun opportunity because every year, I'm always getting at least 1 or 2 customers, if not more, that will just put a random comment on my page saying, "Oh, that would be so cool if they could come out here and this could be a thing. I wish we could try the food from all the other teams." So after just the customers putting that little bug in my ear, then it kind of just spiraled off with me and the other teams kind of just spitballing, going, this could be actually a really fun event. And I happen to know the right people who would like give us news coverage and everything. So I'm trying to reach out to everyone to make this as big as it possibly could be. I just happen to be really good at marketing as well. So I'm trying like every aspect and outlet I possibly can think of to make this a successful event for all.
Let's look at this from how do individuals find it to register? Let's pause here for a second to talk about that. How do customers or foodies, for lack of a better term, get tickets? How do both those things get accomplished?
Well, for the food trucks, I'm pretty much utilizing social media. I'm going on any group, I guess you could say. Like, there's a bunch of food truck groups out there that food trucks owners will join, and there'll be information. So I'm posting in those groups. I'm posting on private pages. I'm sending it on Instagram into like putting as many hashtags as I possibly can. So that way, hopefully other food truck owners that are a part of the Great Food Truck Race, and or if they just have a great food truck that is something non-traditional and a fun idea that they want to participate, email me. And then I will send the Google registration form and hopefully they'll be part of it. So, and then as for customers, I'm posting it in every, like the same type of thing, but all geared towards customers. So like in my area where this event is going to be taking place, it's in McHenry County. So we have McHenry County Food Critic. There's, I think, 75,000 followers in there. And so I'm posting in there and all of the other locations I could possibly think of, that just so that way the customers can see what is happening. And hopefully in the future, they're going to be like, "Oh, I saw that event. I need to go to that." And they'll mark it on their calendars. I'm also trying to team up with local marketing platforms to help get this out there as well.
I mean, this is incredible. I like the community. I like that everyone's coming together. I like that. I apologize. I might have just accidentally screamed in everyone's ear on the microphone. Got really loud suddenly. But just because of my excitement, to me, collaboration, community, fellowship is a big deal in the food world. It's a secret weapon. Honestly, I don't think enough individuals as food entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs in general and food and beverage space collaborate enough. I think that there's a lot of individual stories that there's success, but I don't know of any success without collaboration. You need farmers, you need social media, you need suppliers, you need customers, you need those who are promoting your businesses. Restaurant promoters, I guess, would now be the category, but even on social media. So the same thing, whether it's a newspaper or social media, these are all collaborative efforts, but also food truck to food truck, entrepreneur to entrepreneur collaboration. We see it on social media, how important it is to share fan bases. It's the same thing I think that you're doing here. We're creating the collaboration in the community, which I think is a key to anything, any neighborhood changes, any area is known in a neighborhood as a food area or good food. You can go to a bunch of restaurants or downtown, walk downtown. There's good food. It takes a group of food entrepreneurs to make that happen, not just one. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a group of food entrepreneurs. The catalyst is you, obviously, in this scenario, in this event. So there's that. Now you're having to manage all of it. You're having to put everyone together and coordinate layout, I assume, where everyone's going to park and how they're going to get through the commissary. And it's a one-day event. I believe we talked about 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., 8 hours. And so that's a lot going on, setting up, building up for the event. Have you thought about all that or started to work on all that as well?
Absolutely. I've already been working with a property owner, and I have full intentions within the next 2 weeks to go over and take pictures so that way I can kind of start laying out where the food trucks will be placed and how we're going to map it out. So we have to create some kind of organization. Otherwise, it will be totally insane, especially with every food truck is different. And I don't know if their window is on the driver's side or passenger side. And all of that is like huge factors in it. So I need to know all of those details from every single truck and whether they have a trailer. Are they going to drop the trailer, stay connected? I need all of the information. And not even with just that, I have to make sure that everyone has generators, or do they need power? Got to make sure that the property owner will allow us to use the power, and or if there's going to be a fee. Then there's like porta potty issue too, that I'm also in charge of all of that. So, I mean, there's so much that goes into festivals that people really don't think of or realize. Most people just think, okay, is there a fee to get in? Okay, cool. I have $5 I have to pay at the door, and then I can walk around and there's a whole bunch of food trucks. And that's pretty much the full extent of the customer's like point of view on that. But from behind the scenes, the people actually setting it up, there's a ton of work into it. And I'm also booking all of the bands that are going to be playing. So I'm not even just doing food trucks. I'm doing live music and entertainment, booking any other small vendors besides just food trucks, because I've offered out to other food vendors, such as I have a friend who runs a small shop and it's mostly Chicago style products. It's urban artisanals, and he has a ton of hot sauces, has teamed up with, was it Gindo's hot sauce, and they're absolutely amazing. They have phenomenal flavor. So I told him, hey, set up a tent and vent that there. People will absolutely love it. So I'm trying to help out the little guys too with this.
I think it's important because I think something like this can, if you're trying to build your business, you're trying to get your food truck name out there, like this is an important event to be a part of because you have the leverage of all the other individuals that are coming there also. That's the importance of this. And, people get caught up on certain things that the people are going to come to this. This is a big deal, something like this. And especially during the time of year, it's still kind of outdoorsy. People are outside before winter, and it's a good way to have a big bang before you sort of get into fully into the fall or winter. From my standpoint, also, I'm definitely trying to arrange it on my schedule to be there because I want to see this for myself because I think it's going to be epic. Is there a place online, a website that anyone can go if they're interested in registering?
If they are, they can just go ahead and email me. It is Shauna, SHAUNA, at girlsgotballsfoodtruck.com.
Perfect.
So they can go ahead and do that, and I will respond with the link. Very, very simple. And if you can't find it, find me on social media. Anyone, you can go to and just look at my truck, Girls Got Balls. It will pop up, I promise. And if you shoot me, I'll respond with the Google registration.
I like this. One more time, what was your email address, just for the audience?
It is Shauna, SHAUNA, at girls, GIRLS, got, GOT, balls, BALLS, food truck, all one word, .com. So Shauna at girlsgotballsfoodtruck.com.
Let's talk about marketing a little bit, just from a strategic standpoint outside of this, just because I know your background and we've done this, our third podcast together over the last 3 years. So let's talk a little bit about, like, you've given yourself a runway here. It wasn't like you're like, let's do this July. you were like, let's do this October. You're giving yourself a runway. There's obviously a strategy going on in your head and a timeline and stuff like that. Talk to me a little bit about that, because you didn't just throw this out there and try to throw it together in 3 weeks. I think a lot of people try to do that, underestimating the momentum that needs to be gained to do something like this. So let's talk about that a little
Absolutely.
bit.
Oh, yeah. So no, there's a lot that goes into it, and there's no way that I was going to attempt to do any of this in the middle of my food truck season. So I have my entire calendar laid out, and I talked to a bunch of other food trucks, and I was like, okay, when does your season kind of start winding down where you're not insanely booked? What month would be best for you? So we looked at everything, and I'm like, you know what? All of my major food truck festivals, they all happen to be at the beginning of the season. So I'm doing them like right now. I had one last week. I have one this week. I have one next week. So I'm not trying to schedule another food truck festival at the beginning of the season, competing with all of these other ones. Then I looked at the end of the season, and I have my calendar here in front of me. So going on to around October, I have nothing. There's one festival and maybe a concert, and that's about it. And all of them kind of end in the end of September. So I'm like, you know what? Why don't we have one big blowout in October? And this could be like our last hoorah type thing for all of the food trucks coming in. And hopefully we can all do phenomenal. And even if not, at least we're going to have fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a super fun event. Talk to me a little bit about some of the food trucks that you're bringing there, or maybe want to tease out there for the audience. We know about yours, and I want to talk a little bit about that, what's gone on over the last few months. But talk to me a little bit about the interest, the gain that you have there, just to whet everyone's palate, for lack of a better term.
Absolutely. So originally it started off with my food truck, Girls Got Balls, and then the food truck based out of, I think they're in Toledo area, so Ohio, maybe Cheeseborn with it. They competed on the same season as I in season 15, and they actually made it to second place. So they made it all the way to the top and everything, and almost took first prize, but Senoritas won on top of them. But so they're not coming out, but maybe Cheeseborn with it will be here. So they're coming over from Ohio. Then we have Southern Pride Asian Fusion, also a season 15 contestant. They're coming in from Colorado, and the other half of their team is flying in from the Philippines. So they're all going to work together. So they have Asian barbecue, and it's like a fusion truck. They're really cool. We also have Saute Kings that was on my season. They are coming up from Florida. And who was the other one? Let's see. Oh, we were looking at another one from a different season, and he was from season 10. I'm blanking on the name of his food truck right now, but so far we have secured about 5 food trucks from, yeah, from the Great Food Truck Race that all were contestants that are going to be coming in. Trying to get more, trying to reach out to as many as I possibly can. I have, let's see, a friend who is from Atlanta and owns a gourmet grilled cheese food truck, and like has totally non-traditional grilled cheeses, like absolutely insane ones. So he's going to be trying to come up from Atlanta. There's a smashed burger truck that I guess has won awards in Atlanta, best in Atlanta. I personally haven't been down there, so I'm unsure how good it is or not, but he said that he will be coming up. And then currently on the registration, we have a Thai noodle truck. We have a Filipino truck. We have an Asian truck, loaded fries. We got a couple barbecue trucks, homemade pizza, wood fire pizza type things. We even have dessert trucks where they make their own frozen custard and make nachos out of it.
This is
So we
very
got
cool.
variety. Yeah, variety all around, all different types of food. Any type of food that you're going to be craving, I guarantee it's going to be there.
Anything that you want to talk about that I haven't mentioned about the event? Any details? Anything that you would like to talk about?
Well, like I said, I'm also booking musical acts as well. So anyone that would like to register for that as well can also go ahead and email me, and hopefully we can get you booked. So we're not trying to make the food trucks or musical acts or anything, any type of entertainment. We're not trying to make you guys pay a ton of fees. So it would pretty much be you're responsible for your food truck fee, your health permit. We do have a $150 fee for each food truck that would like to participate, and that's just to cover expenses. I'm trying to keep it as low cost as for everyone as possible. Like, I don't want to personally pay out $1,200 for porta potties for all the guests and everything, and then I'm on the hook for that when I'm letting all of the other food trucks just make money. So each of us is going to pay $150, put it in a pot. It's going to cover all the fees, and we're just going to make money. That's it, and have fun.
Yeah, and I'm going to emphasize something as well. Just from, let's talk about from a business advancement standpoint. I know everyone's like, well, mileage and staying in a hotel. I can hear all the negatives going on in someone's mind right now because I know them. I've done, but here's the thing, guys. With the money, the make or break, whatever you want to look at, one of the main takeaways from something like this is the community you get on a broader level outside of your individual community of food trucks or trailers. And the reason that that's important is because if your business is ever to grow, or you want to grow your business, or you want a community to grow your business with, these type of things matter. Getting your food truck outside of your community or working with others, food trucks outside of your community, helps get exposure to your brand, to what you're building outside of your community. Now, obviously, you're not brick and mortar, so you're not planning things down, so you have the ability to move. That's a huge benefit. That's a huge thing. Could you franchise your food truck or trailer? Yes, you can do those things. But most importantly, the community, the individuals that surround yourself with in food trucks and communities in events like this that you can benefit from, asking you questions, being a good support system, understanding that while your competition technically at an event, it's not really competitive if all of you are driving more people there. That's the importance of things like this at the end of the day. And also, like I said, educating ourselves through each other. That's a big deal. That's what happened to me. I learned more at events like this in the food trailers, doing fried chicken and whatever else we were up to when we had those things going on as a business. You know, they're important. The community was always the most important part. The fellowship was always the most important part. And yes, is it hard to start the business and get your foot off the ground and, and put one foot in front of the other? Yeah, for sure. But once you do that, there are other individuals who are also doing it, that their momentum and your momentum can be collaborative.
Absolutely. And anyone that is coming in from out of states, as far as food truckers and stuff, my sister and I live in an unincorporated area, and we run our food truck together. We literally live 3 doors away from each other, and my food truck is parked in her driveway. Well, her driveway is the size of my street. So we already have discussed, and we have agreed that anyone that is coming in from out of state, if they do need to park their food truck overnight, they can park it over here and avoid fees and everything. So we're trying to make it easy enough for everyone to avoid as many fees as possible. If they don't feel like getting a hotel room overnight and you're not opposed to camping, by all means, you can pitch a tent in our yard. We don't care. We have enough property for that. So obviously all weather dependent. So
Yeah.
hopefully.
And what a great
hopefully
story. For anyone who's going to take the venture, what a great story to share with the world of going on your venture to Illinois to participate in this event, to be around other food truckers, doing what you guys do best, right? That's what you guys do with your life. It's what you're trained to do. It's what you guys want to do. It's your ambition or part of the ambition to get to where you want to go. So I think things like this are important. I think the story, guys, each of the stories that lead up to this event are important as well. I mean, how do you go about then contacting all these people? Let's talk strategically, because I think people don't have any idea. But I mean, generally, I assume you're creating lists. I assume you're checking off a certain amount per day. I assume there's a certain amount of discipline and consistency there to reach out to media outlets, do your own PR. I mean, you're basically doing your own PR, right? So
Yes,
talk
absolutely.
to me about how you strategically go about this, because we talked about length of time before. I think this is part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It does require a certain amount of time to be able to get all this out there. There's no one that would be able to pull this off in a matter of just a few weeks and get as many food trucks in, at least even as many food trucks interested in this. to be able to make this trip. So I kind of got lucky with one of the news outlets. My sister, she works at another restaurant and she happened to be waitressing one night, and there was someone that she recognized from the news there. And so she started talking to them and she got her email address and everything. And then she messaged her and was like, "Hey, my sister is doing this. Would you be interested in something like this?" And she goes, "Yeah, have her send me information on it now." So that was one of the ones I got lucky on. And then, like I previously stated, that Food Network does a pretty fantastic job for all of the trucks after the show, after the fact, when the season's over. And I happened to save everything. So, like, I didn't, at the time when I was going through the Food Network, all the interviews and everything, I just didn't delete the emails with all of the producers' email addresses and all of that, thinking, I might be able to utilize this in the future. And sure enough, something came into play where I'm like, cool, I have everyone. So I try to be a little bit more strategic with stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't want to delete something and then go 5 years later, you know what? Oh my gosh, I had that person. I don't have it anymore. I can't even remember what it was about. But nope, I keep everything. I'm not like a hoarder, but when it comes to emails and stuff, I absolutely am.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think keeping contacts, keeping records, all of that's really important because you never know when you're going to need something or you're going to do something that you may have to reflect back on it. 100% a fan of that as well. So I agree. Lastly, let's talk about your growth from this. Let's talk about you're taking this on. This is obviously growing you beyond where you were before, using the skills that you've already gained to create something new. Let's talk about that a little bit because you are going into unknown territory a little bit, but you have
Oh,
the
yeah.
skills to do it. It might be a little fearful, but let's talk about that a little bit because you're venturing forward into something new.
Yeah, this definitely is new territory for me. I've never personally held any kind of events, I mean, besides my own wedding. But even with that, like preparing food for 150 people and managed to do the entire wedding myself. So I'm kind of using all of the skills I put into that and trying to re-implement it again into this event, and just keep as much organization as I possibly can. Like, I have spreadsheets and everything just laid out, making sure that I have everyone's name on it, everyone's contact information, phone number, address, have they paid the fee or not? Where are they going to be staying? I have, like, it literally lays out everything. So utilizing all of that information and then just trying to blast it out there and just turn this into something that I've never thought was even possible. And at times, yeah, it absolutely is scary because I'm reaching out to people and hoping that they're a reasonable individual that will see the vision that I'm seeing. But obviously, not everyone is me, and I can't expect that. So I just have to keep pushing along and hope that people will be interested in this, and there are people out there that are willing to help out with this. So, like I said, thankfully we had a pub owner, and he was like, "You know what? This sounds like an awesome event. So how about I do this? I will offer up my property. You guys can do this. And I don't even really want a fee for it. I just want to make sure all my expenses are going to be covered." So what the deal we came up with was, he's going to give us the property to use that. He's closing down his kitchen at the restaurant for the day, but no food truck will be allowed to serve any drinks. He gets all the drinks. So
Yeah,
that
that
way,
makes sense.
yep. So that was the compromise we came up with. So that way he gets all of that and everything is covered on his end, and he's not losing money by letting us do this. And I'm just really hoping that other people are more willing, like him, to actually help out with this to make this thing a reality.
Yeah, I think so. I will get all the details out there. Anyone in the audience, everything will be in the notes in here. Anyone going to the event, I will extend an invitation to get you on the show and put you at priority so that your episode comes out so it can promote the event if anyone wants to do that. So I'm happy to do that for Shauna, just because amazing guest, always on time, never had to worry about her canceling or rescheduling or not communicating. So as a return of a favor for being great to work with. I want to help her help you. And so anyone out there listening, we can coordinate it. There's a link in the episode also. You can just hit Calendly. And if you put in your notes when you sign up to be on the episode that you're doing this event, the great food truck gathering, just put it in there and I'll make sure that we prioritize your recording as well as your episode release. I can do that for you guys. And it just made we release more episodes some weeks. So that's just what we do to keep everyone on schedule. But that's why we also have blanks in between it. And I have the liberty of doing that because guess what? I run the show. So guys, I love it. But anyway, I like this. I like it a lot. I want to help do this. Anything that I can help anyone out there collaborate, build fellowship, community, I'm all for. I don't think there's any way that food should be seen otherwise in our families or in our communities. And I certainly think that is the opportunity to grow the most with the individuals around us, our businesses to grow, especially when we're in food and beverage. The gatherings help. The fellowship helps. It all matters. It helps ease things. When we eat together, we have better conversations when we don't eat together. So someone recently told me that they fight less with their spouse when they're eating than when they're not eating. And I said, so much are you fighting? But the real thing is maybe it's true. I don't know. I haven't really thought about life in that way. But it is something that came up recently that I thought about. So these are all things. Food is a powerful tool. It brings nutrients, it brings life to our bodies, to an existing life, to animals, to whatever. We compound life into us. So these things are important, and we compound knowledge into us through doing events like this and being surrounded by other individuals. Even if we're there as entrepreneurs or we're there as foodies, I mean, talk about an event where you can get a lot of footage, meet a lot of different food styles, a lot of different entrepreneurs to build relationships with, try new foods that you haven't tried before, get experience, exposure, education, the 3 foundations of leadership in food by going to try all different types. And if you're in the food and restaurant business and you're not a food truck, I can't encourage this more. Food trucks and Shauna and I talked about this beforehand, it's a niche place because you can only do so much on your truck and you have to do it really well and you have to be known. So when you do it and you're going out there, you have to be known for it. So something like this helps you become known. So it's the same as an entrepreneur, or when you're in the food and restaurant business, you want to see what the cutting edge things or people are doing or what the coolest updated thing is. It's happening on the street. It doesn't generally happen always in a restaurant. It happens somewhere else and then gets adapted into a restaurant, and then the restaurant makes it more popular. I think there's the chocolate going around, Dubai chocolate would be a great example. Someone's all started that, and now it's everywhere. So just think about that, guys. Go ahead.
I actually just started offering that on my food truck, but it's we make our own rendition of it though, because my food truck is entirely gluten-free. So we make bubble waffles that we throw in the fryer and they taste kind of like a funnel cake, actually exactly like a funnel cake. So that I've been taking those and topping them with the pistachio cream and chocolate and strawberries and making the Dubai chocolates on bubble cakes and then making Dubai chocolate parfaits and keeping it 100% gluten-free for all my customers and everything, which is impossible to find. If you actually look up gluten-free Dubai chocolate, non-existent. It is impossible to find. So I'm making sure I get something out there that all of my fans can actually try with this like super popular trends, but they can still eat it being celiac.
Yeah, I mean, that's really incredible. And I think it 100% goes to who you are and what you're doing right now. You have an opportunity. Dubai chocolate's an opportunity, but how can you do it better? And also, how can you serve it to your customer base? Well, gluten-free is a big deal. I know I try to stay away from gluten myself as much as possible, just from inflammation standpoint, trying to exercise and take care of myself a little bit more. And it's not that I'm against bread. It's just that I grew up eating a lot of bread and pasta as an Italian. So it adversely compounded into my body in some ways and does cause inflammation and irritation and allergies. So not everywhere, but definitely here in the United States. So that's just for everyone. I really respect that you do that and hold true to that, because it'd be so easy to just offer something not that way in hopes of getting more audience and not sticking true to your values and your mission. So I do appreciate that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it makes it even better for us. Like my daughter, she is gluten tolerant, and every time she eats anything with gluten, she gets like red and itchy rash over her entire body and blows up like a little balloon. So we just try to keep a gluten-free household. And so for me, this is absolutely important, and so I understand the effects of it, especially for people who have intolerance and or celiac disease. So they really can't eat it. And being out and about and trying to find somewhere to eat when you do have those kind of allergies and or disease, it's nearly impossible because there's cross contamination everywhere. And those people that have that, it's extremely severe. There's like you can't go to a place where they say, "Oh yeah, we have this that's gluten free." Say, let's use pizza as an example. We have a gluten free crust, but then they're throwing it in the oven where they're cooking their fire pizza oven, but that's where the normal pizzas go. So now the bottom of the gluten-free pizza is covered in flour, and now they're going to have an allergic reaction because of that. So we make sure that everything from start to finish on our food truck is prepared in a gluten-free safe kitchen and then transferred into our food truck where we finish it, where it's gluten-free entirely. Even my nephew the other day was working on my food truck during a festival, and he went to the pizza truck that was next door trying to do trades, and he went to go back to work. And I before he even walked in the food truck, I'm like, go wash your hands. Do not come in here without cleaning yourself and making sure you are entirely gluten-free. I'm like, you're not touching anything and cross-contaminating it for my customers. So we take it extremely seriously.
Yeah, I think the important part of this, as from an entrepreneurial standpoint, is the way we live in our homes from a food standpoint should translate into our businesses. Having that same threshold. I'm not saying that I'll eat tacos all the time if I'm a taco truck, but what I am saying is there should be an ethos, and it should spill from our homes into our businesses. It's a lot easier to run our lives that way. I'm just going to say it. It's a lot less stressful. And as an entrepreneur where life is always business, even when we pretend it's not going on in our head, and it is, for the world around us, the focus, the way to make it easier, or where it doesn't take away from our families as much or take away time from those that are important to us, is integrating it into our lifestyles. And I know that's hard for everyone to fathom, but it is an easier way of doing it, and it is a more successful way of doing it, in that when you have the ability to not jump from task to task so abruptly, where it's a smooth transition, in this case gluten-free, there's no worrying about it being one way or the other. For anyone, it is what it is all the way through. That's important for anyone out there listening in. The way we translate that in as entrepreneurs, and our families translate that around us, is important as well. So it's an anchor. Everyone has their own thing. I don't know what yours is in the audience, but gluten-free is what we're talking about here. In my household, we eat as clean as possible, right? We try to generally do we slip? Do we eat out? Do we try food? I'm on Instagram eating food that's not clean, obviously, for just the food entrepreneurs, but in general, in our house and in the businesses that I run, the food is clean. Just for everyone knows. And the businesses that I'm involved in, clean, healthy style of food. That's my ethos. That's where I go from: athlete, child of God, brother of Jesus, however you want to look at it, son of God, warrior of the world, trying to better the world around me and pollinate entrepreneurs. All of that ethos comes together in both my lifestyle and my businesses. So it's integrated into my family now and integrated into my life. It just makes it easier. And interestingly, I I think even social media is becoming that for a lot of individuals. If you're social media and you are a business and you are in the food and beverage business, social media is becoming a part of your family as you do more social media in your business. So everyone needs to
Absolutely.
think about that. Like your ethos as a family is becoming part of that. And in the world that's our future, even with AI, that wholeness, that humanness is important. So anything else before we go? Anything else you've added to the menu that we haven't talked about to your own menu?
This year we actually are trying to maintain keeping the menu the same, and we are offering the entire menu. We're offering full menu every single service. As where last year and all of the previous years, we would just pick 4 or 5 things, and that's all we would offer. And so this year it's completely different. Where so for once, everyone gets the entire menu. And just this past weekend, I released the Munch Box, not Lunchbox, Munch Box. So it is. In reality, it is a giant sampler platter. You get a little of every single thing on my menu. So,
Like this.
yep. So that one's a fun one. And so, yeah, so everyone for the last, I can't even say how many years, everyone has asked for that. So now it's finally a reality.
The munch
Um,
box.
Yep. Yep. So I take a pizza box and I literally fill it with just a little bit of everything. All the different risotto balls, all of our loaded tots, our loaded risotto ball bowls, because I take like a mac and cheese risotto and I'll top it with some cheese sauce, barbecue pork, what was it, chives and sour cream and everything, like where it's completely loaded. So we have that in there as well. Sauces on the side so that way it doesn't get super messy and gross in there. So keeps everything kind of organized so you can kind of tell what everything is. But yeah, posted that on Facebook, so you could see that on Facebook and social and Instagram on the Girls Got Balls page.
Like this. I also like that you're offering everything on the menu. I think that that's a big step, but I think it's going to do you well. I think showing everyone your capabilities and allowing everyone to see all the variety that you have in risotto and desserts and sauces and tots and all of that, and then all gluten free, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
what a
for them, for the customers that like to be a little bit more risque and have a little more fun and just have a dirty mind like, well, the rest of us. We have our dirty menu too. So it's all the exact same things, but with a horribly dirty name. And we also offer our Willy cakes, which are in reality they're a X-rated shape. I'll just leave it at that.
I like this. And I like that you have this secret menu, and I think it's great. And in a world that's become so bachelor party oriented in the world, things like this I think are important, or just to have fun, right? We just don't have
Absolutely.
enough fun anymore, and we don't joke around enough. We take some of this stuff too seriously.
Absolutely. We like to have fun, and we also have our you can also get the same exact thing but in minis, and we call it our satchel of riches, and it literally comes in a sack.
I like that. This is very well done. Your progression, your evolution as a business is very impressive. I'm very impressed with this, and the marketing and the trademark ability and all the stuff that you're going through right now. Pretty cool.
Yep,
I
and
mean,
I do have Girls Got Balls entirely. Name
yeah,
and logo is trademarked.
yeah, I knew it. I knew you were on your way. You're thinking about
Yeah.
all these things.
Oh yeah, go
So,
big or go home, right?
yeah, that's the truth. And where can they find you online? Where can we find Girls Got Balls? Let's let the audience know about that.
You can find us on all social media platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, X, anything of the nature. You can find us on all of those. Just look up Girls Got Balls. On Facebook, it's Girls Got Balls Mobile Kitchen. So you can find us on there, or you can go to www.girlsgotballsfoodtruck.com.
I might have said this already, but this is really my last question. Talk to me about this season that you have ahead of you before this event for your food truck. Because I have to imagine you've got catering, you've got bookings, you're diligent, you line up things, you're definitely consistent. And organized. So what does this summer look like for you?
Oh, it's absolutely insane. So currently I have my schedule open in front of me, and it ranges from everything from breweries, meaderies, distilleries. Then we have a ton of festivals. We also are venturing out into sports parks this year. So all of the parents out there that are sitting there watching their son or daughter play softball or baseball, and they're stuck sitting there for a tournament the entire day with no good food outlets, and they really can't leave because their minor is playing. We're going to be parked out there so that way all of those parents and everyone can get food. And then we also have, I think, between now and October, about 15 different festivals, if not a little more. We also are going to campgrounds too. So we have that. Bunches of concert in the park type situation. One I'm actually kind of excited about. It was random. I had a village reach out to me and they're like, we're still looking for a food truck. Are you available on a Thursday? I'm like, okay, sure. Got signed up. Then they sent me the details. And this is like the first time I ever accepted something without knowing the details prior. And I'm glad I did because they're actually going to have the Marshall Tucker Band there that night. So I'm like, okay, so that's going to be a fun little event. Totally unexpected, but cool. So we're going to be doing those. We have a few weddings that we're going to be catering. So yeah, we love doing weddings. Our food in weddings, even though we have dirty names on stuff, think about like risotto balls. You're going a little bit fancy. It works. It's fun. So we're going to be doing those too. And then kind of one of our last events of the summer, usually we try to plan it out that way anyways, is our absolute favorite of the year. It's called the Great Outdoor Beer Trail. So what that one is the McHenry County Park District or Conservation District. They take one of their, what is it? It's a recreational parks. So they take one of their parks that has a bunch of trails through it, and local brewers will set up tents along the trail, and people will go from tent to tent doing beer tasting, and then there's just a couple food trucks. So we call it the drunk walk because everyone, by the time they hit the fourth or fifth tent, they're starting to kind of walk like a zombie. That's one.
Yes, I like
It
it.
is phenomenal. I love that event. So we do that every year. This is going to be our 5th year running on it.
Wow. I mean, you've been consistently just showing up, doing the events, no matter what, building your brand, right? I mean, there's the one thing, if I reflect, just so the audience knows, episode 339 and 411 are the last two we did together. But I mean, you've remained consistent to build this, right? This didn't happen overnight because,
No.
but you
I work
showed up every
I
time.
work roughly 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like every day. My husband even knows that every time he puts on a movie or something, he knows I'm only paying maybe a quarter of attention to it because I'm responding to emails, emailing new people, checking up and confirming dates, doing whatever I can to get more people out there to know my brand and try to get more dates on the calendar because that's the only way to actually make this work is keep plugging away.
Yeah, because it's not only social media views for a food business, it's actual food and mouth views. And that's important.
Absolutely.
And views at an event. And if they didn't try it this time, maybe they'll try it next time. But if you're not there, they'll never try it next time. They may have already tried something and be like, oh, I should have tried that. But if you're not there for them to should have tried, you can't do it.
Absolutely.
And the businesses make a lot of mistake. They get so caught up in their numbers in the initial time or other time. Well, sometimes you're just planting seeds. And in food trucks, showing up and being there consistently is the number one thing to continually start building a customer base. They just want you there. And if you show up there and they see you all the time and you're there for them and it's a reassurance, that's a big deal. And more than anyone talks about, more than anyone writes about, is that emotional attachment that happens when we show up all the time as a business.
Absolutely. And another fun thing I'm going to be doing is I just got the full setup just over the weekend installed in my food truck, but we are going to be live streaming every service from here on out until the end of the season. So you can check us out. We're going to be on Facebook, Instagram Live. We're going to be on X. We're going to be on Twitch. We have accounts on all the different ones where it's going to be multi-platform, but if you want to see what it's like to actually work inside of a real food truck, not what you see on TV, because what you see on the Great Food Truck Race is only a quarter of what you see. I can't say too much because I do have an NDA.
I love it. Thank you. One more time, where can they find you online? Where can they email you if they want to register for the event? If you're eventually there will be a site though for people to buy tickets, right? As a consumer guest foodie. I'm lacking the term right now for some reason.
Well, actually, since we're not going to be charging the guests for this,
there
there's
you go.
no tickets. We are doing free entry. I want to get as many people as possible for this, so come hungry.
So no tickets. So they don't, even though it's free, they don't need to register. Is that correct?
No. Only the food trucks and any of the vendors need to register. Anything else, you just come. Just come and join us and have fun. So if you are interested in joining the Great Food Truck Gathering, then you can go ahead and email me at shauna@girls.ballsfoodtruck.com. You can also reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, X, any of the outlets. Just look up Girls Got Balls and I will be on there.
Awesome. Thank you guys. For everyone in the audience, Shauna, definitely going to have you back on as we get closer to the event so we can talk about it again and update everyone, fan base, audience, everyone, as we continue to move towards October 4th. So you and I can talk about that. Definitely. Anyone in the audience, if you like the event, you heard about and are interested, you have the email. I'll put it in the notes as well. If you are wanting to drive out there or you're wanting to do something like this as a food truck or trailer and get more exposure for your business, I recommend doing something like this. I have it on my calendar. I am planning on being there, guys. This is something that is good and we all should be a part of, if you can be. And you should think about how you can be a part of it. And I know everyone's schedules are booked up forever. But listen, community, fellowship, something like this, the talent behind it, what Shauna's doing, her talent, her skill set that's been compounded inside of her to do something like this, it's worth paying attention to. So thank you, everyone. I love you guys. Like, share, comment the episode, share with everyone. Go to Girls Got Balls, like, share, comment, see the reels, follow the progress. Remember the great food truck gathering that is going on. I think this event is going to be multiple years. And honestly, just because of who you are and the effort you put into things.
Hey, and if in the future, if this does actually work, I am not opposed to going to other states to make this happen again.
Yeah, now we're talking. I like this. Now we're talking big. I like it. Thank you very much for your time today, Shauna. Thank you for coming back on the show. I appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. Audience, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We're out.